what's different about this project that you won't see in other ocean documentaries?
I think because it's driven by a mission, and the whole reason for the film is that there's a very big UN conference coming up about protecting the ocean, and that happens in June. And the whole film was designed really to make the case for why protecting the ocean is so important for all citizens on Earth, really. And so it's the whole story is very driven by that, and a lot of ocean sort of documentaries are more generic about the beauty and wonder of the ocean. This isn't that. This is we've in David Attenborough's lifetime, we've discovered sort of everything we need to know about the ocean. But at the same time in his lifetime, we've destroyed more of it than in any time in human history. But now when we put together our understanding and we know what we've done wrong, we've got this amazing magical moment to fix it. And you fix it through protection. And we want the world to know about that.
We know that oceans many, how can I say that? Stress, destruction. Say more about that.
I think, what a lot of people talk about, there are a lot of things that are threatening the ocean. There's pollution, there's plastic, right. there's climate change, what have you. We very much focused on the issue, which is sort of, we have an expression called the elephant in the room. And it is industrial fishing. And it's not artisanal fishing or local fishing, it's the industrial kind of process. And that has the biggest impact, negative impact. But the wonderful thing about it is it's completely human controlled. No one lives in the ocean, so it's purely the legislation of countries with borders and also the open ocean, which is the UN. So it's very easy to fix it. And so that's why this film is particularly different because it focuses actually on the key issue that we can resolve quickly.
Okay, my first question is, the documentary brings this optimistic perspective about the oceans, like to bring the oceans back like it was before. How is that possible? Is that possible? Why?
Enrique, would you like to?
Sure, yeah, let me start. It is possible. Actually, you can see it on the film, right? And it is possible, and I have seen it. Toby has seen it. I have seen places go from degraded to healthy and rich and colorful and pristine in just a few years. We have hundreds of examples of marine reserves, places set aside where we just stand back and the ocean has healed itself and helped to replenish the ocean around. So yes, it is possible. It has happened. It is happening. And we have the scientific studies and the economic studies that back this up. And the beauty of the film is that now you have the voice for nature, one of the most trusted voices, the best storyteller on the planet, telling everybody what we know and showing it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll just add to that, not only is this possible, not only is this beyond a dream, but as Enrique says, it's actually happening right now. And as a filmmaker, that was the biggest gift now for this film, was that coming to it, to make it, was that actually you've got a real tangible, hopeful thing here. You've got this incredible way out of this mess, and it's real and it's tangible, and there's so much science and data behind it. And it blew my mind when I sort of started making the film, the kind of the simplicity of it, and how how exciting it is that if you protect areas of ocean, the process of recovery is very different from what happens on land. That same area of ocean, when you protect it, fills up with life much more quickly compared to on land, and much more spectacularly, and the life floods out and fills up surrounding areas, the spillover effect. And if we do that with a third of the ocean, the effects could be huge. We could have a planet where we don't only survive, but we thrive. And that's everyone. That's fishing communities, economies, that's all marine life, that's all terrestrial life. It's a triple, quadruple, fifthruple win. It doesn't get any better. So yes, it's real, and yes, it's incredibly exciting.
Okay, and why undertake a new project with David, who stars in several other documentaries? Why David?
Why David? Wow. Well, would you want anyone else? I would counter with that. David is the ultimate authority in my view, and I believe many others in terms of showing humanity, the natural world, over the past 100 years, which is an extraordinary amount of time. You're talking about someone who no one has come close to the level of trust that people give David when they hear him speak, as well as the level of attention. This man has always given such presence and such passion to all of his subjects. It's never been about David Attenborough for David Attenborough. It's been about the subject. It's been about the animal or the plant or whatever he's talking about. And in this instance, it's the ocean. And this is, in his words, the greatest story yet, the biggest message he's ever told. His big, most authored personal piece. This feature film is like none of the other TV episodes he's done. So to bring that ultimate brand of trust and authority to this, you couldn't get more impactful.
Right. Was it like working with David, who is 99 years old? Are there any limitation, or does he have any many demands?
Very, very few demands, none actually that I can think of. The man is extraordinarily accommodating and professional, and you would have no idea he's 99. I mean, it's extraordinary. If I'm anything like that at the age of 80 or 75, I'll be very happy. But he's incredible. Honestly, he's absolutely incredible. I mean, I remember being on a freezing beach with him. It was 2 degrees, early March, south coast of England. He's recording these incredibly powerful lines to camera. He's saying, "It is my great hope that we all come to see the ocean not as a dark and distant place with little relevance to our lives on land, but as the lifeblood of our home. If we save the ocean, we save our world." And he said it so brilliantly, so intimately, so close to the microphone that they were the most powerful words I've ever heard him say. And it still hits me emotionally when I hear those final lines in the film. But beyond being the world's greatest storyteller and naturalist, he's also an incredible listener. He's very, very humble. There's no ego. He'll always be asking you about your stories and your expeditions and where you've been, which is just wonderful.
Right. But the oceans are very important. We have this crisis in the whole world, the global warming, right? And may the ocean be the key for the salvation, something like that. You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, the ocean. Well, we can thank the ocean already for keeping Earth inhabitable. So the ocean has absorbed 90% of the extra heat produced by our activity since the Industrial Revolution. If all that heat was in the first part of the atmosphere where life is, the temperature right now where we are would not be 1.5 degrees or 2 degrees Celsius higher, like we want to not want to exceed. It will be 35 degrees Celsius higher. Without the ocean saving us from ourselves, we would already, most of humanity would not exist. The ocean absorbs a third of the our carbon emissions. So we owe a lot to the ocean, right? But we cannot continue abusing the ocean because there is only so much of our impacts that the ocean can absorb. And this is why we're at a very critical point. We are reaching that tipping point beyond which we cannot return. So it is so important that, one, we reduce carbon emissions dramatically as soon as possible, and two, that we protect as much of nature as possible, because we cannot fix climate change without saving nature, and we cannot save nature without fixing climate change.
Right. I'm just searching for a word in English. Just a second. Okay, viewer. What do you want the viewers to find out with this project?
The biggest take home for me now is one of hope. I think if they can come away with one thing, there's been a lot of doom and gloom the last few years. In this industry is no exception. There's only so much bad news that people can take before they get alienated and don't engage. I think the ultimate motivator is hope, and false hope doesn't get anyone anywhere. False hope is dangerous, but real hope like this is so exciting, and we should be shouting about that from the rooftops, because this isn't an anti-fishing film. If anything, this is a pro-fishing film. This is pro-abundance, pro-thriving ocean, pro-thriving planet, and that's where we can be if we follow this roadmap to protecting a third of the ocean.
Do you think that we are losing the hope?
Well, it's difficult to be optimistic these days, right? When you read the newspaper or listen to the radio or TV, and it's war, famine, refugees, floods, drought, destruction of the Amazon forest. It's very difficult to be optimistic. But we cannot just think of the negatives and throw our arms up and feel overwhelmed and don't do anything. Because there are plenty of bright spots out there. There are plenty of success stories. And in particular, related to the film, there are all these marine protected areas, these no-take areas that we have set aside, where marine life comes back and helps to replenish the rest of the ocean and helps the fishermen. It creates tourism jobs, it brings economic revenue, it protects the coast from storms, it produces oxygen, it captures carbon, it provides climate resilience, etc., 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 right? So we need people to understand what the problems are, but we also need everyone to understand that there are solutions that work. And one beauty of the film is that protected areas is not something that depends on an international agreement like global warming, right? Everyone can be the hero that leads their community to protect their ocean backyard. There are marine reserves in Brazil, and every marine reserve started because one person had the idea, we should protect this. And that person assembled a community, and they created, working with the government, etc., and they created these marine protected areas. So that's the beauty of this solution, that the government can create big areas like in your offshore islands, right? But then every community can create their own protected area on their coastal town. So everybody, the reaction to the film has been so great, because people feel that the hope, people feel that there is a solution and they can be part of it.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm done. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Valeu.